Rough around the edges, but I'm still so smooth. This is how a hero move. Rough around the edges, but I'm still so smooth. Watch me work, watch me work, watch me work. This is how a hero move. Rough around the edges, but I'm still so smooth. Welcome to the huddle. Each one reach one. Each one teach one. If you are that one, then you already know that you are enough. Enough to get it all right when everything seems to be going all wrong. Welcome to the huddle. We know that your attention is the most powerful thing that you can pay. So if you paying me some attention right now in the moment or on the replay, I just want you to know that I give my all to be worthy. Showtime, brother. We done been in the huddle all week. You've been sending me through drills. You've been asking me questions. You've been putting me to the test. It's showtime, man. It's what we train for. It's what we train for. Want to give a shout out to my executive producer, my wardrobe coordinator. I say, baby, what I'm wearing today? She said, I don't know. I'm going to tell you what you ain't wearing. I say, what's that? She say, a hat. Boy, that bald head got a pretty tan. I said, good God Almighty, say less. Give a shout out to the greatest co-host in the whole world, my home girl, Alexa. Tell me something good.
We all we got. We all we need.
I'm jumping straight into the word sentiment. Alexa, what is the meaning of sentiment?
Sentiment is usually defined as an attitude towards something, regard, opinion. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for sentiment.
An attitude towards something, regard, an opinion. Man, this hit me hard this past week. A sentiment. I saw the attitude amongst a lot of people. Last week or so, my daddy called me. He said, hey, man, Hulk Hogan died. I said, yeah, man, I saw that. He said, hey, old Hulk. And we started reminiscing. Hulk made us look back how much we love wrestling, how much he loved wrestling as a young boy, how much he exposed me and my brother and my cousins to wrestling. It brought back good memories. When Hulk Hogan died, it had a good sentiment, a good attitude, an idea, a feeling towards something. When my daddy called me and said, Hulk Hogan died, then I went on social media, and every time somebody said Hulk Hogan died and mentioned memories, there was a sentiment. We couldn't have no good feeling about Hulk Hogan because he was a racist. So our sentiment was, how dare you care? It's done something to me, man. I say we come a long way. Sometimes I ask myself, have we come the wrong way? See, my daddy was born in 1955. Alexa, when was Hulk Hogan born?
Hulk Hogan was born on August 11th, 1953.
2 years older than my daddy. My daddy's 70. Hulk Hogan 72. In a time when segregation was real, And I'm saying this because this is a man who was born in segregation. I'm talking about my daddy, the same man that raised me with an understanding of how things work, my position as a black man and the position in this white man world. His daddy was born in 1929. My daddy grew up in Jim Crow. Well, he know he was a nigger in every white man's mind. So Hulk Hogan was born in 1953, and we got a sentiment that we block off all these memories because he said he didn't want his daughter with a nigger, but if she was, he would hope that it would be a rich nigger. So we got a sentiment amongst each other to say, how dare. Before I even go any further, you can put it in the comment or you can answer it to yourself in your own mind. If he's the wrong kind, put a list of the good kind. Put a list of the good kind that was born in 1953. Tell me who the good ones are, that we can have a sentiment where we can have compassion for life and memories of a time where entertainment gave us. Tell me who are the good ones so we can get this hatred and evil attitude about things that we don't even really understand out the way. Because it seems like, man, we turning into something wrestling raised us, man. My daddy had a neighbor that grew up with him his whole life named Mr. Cherry. I was about 8, 9, 10, 11. My daddy would take me, my brother, my cousins, and Mr. Cherry to the Charlotte Coliseum. We was into NWA wrestling. Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, the Road Warriors, Magnum TA, the Rock and Roll Express. Man, these are the memories that cultivated our childhood. When Magnum TA died in 1985, when he ran his red Porsche into a tree, man, the whole city was sad. I'm talking about in 85. I'm talking about way back when racism was really real in comparison to now. And my daddy understood and taught me. Expectations is the seed of disappointment, son. Don't you ever expect anything in another man's mind that ain't what you is, to be have love for you like you love you and what look like you. So I ain't never been disappointed when I hear a white man talk like a white man talk who was born in 1953, cultivated in Jim Crow. Fuck we surprised about? That now we can't even have compassion. We playing pro-black, but we all acting. I said more shit about real shit about white and black than most people would ever say. But I can't have a good sentiment for Hulk Hogan, the biggest wrestling superstar. When wrestling was more powerful in a black home on a Saturday morning than football is on a Sunday morning right now. NWA had one consistent black star, And his name was Rocket King. You talking about racism? Everybody loved Rocket King. Rocket King was goddamn, he ain't never win a match. And now we know it was fake. And you mean to tell me they still couldn't let Rocket King win? God damn. That was racist. And we all knew that. They let the Junkyard Dog. I had a Junkyard Dog wrestling, man, because he was the first black man. I was the Junkyard Dog. But Dusty Rhodes was always my favorite. You think I expected them to be anything other than white men? Thinking like white men think, who was raised in Jim Crow? Are you that fucking disconnected from reality? Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. We come through this. We come through this, y'all. And like I said, my daddy was raised in Jim Crow. My mama raised in Jim Crow. I'm the first generation. I'm 46 years old. I'm the first generation of all my lineage to go really be integrated. I sat in a classroom with George Sheehan, the owner of the Charlotte Hornets, a billionaire, a millionaire. Me and his son sat in the same class, and he was my friend, and we talked like we goddamn believed and trusted each other. I was the first generation to truly be intertwined. This ain't deep. This ain't deep. My daddy told me when I was 16, boy, don't you ever touch no motherfucking white girl. Fuck a white girl, fuck around and say you done raped her. Don't you ever go touch that motherfucking cracker daughter. That's what my daddy told me. Fuck you think somebody my age daddy told them? Yeah, the lines get blurred. Yeah, things happen. But when did we get disconnected? Or we wasn't raised by a generation of parents that taught us our position and their position. I had no understanding of my daddy and his peers until I graduated high school and went to work with older men my daddy's age. And then I got exposed to what real racism is. And when I got exposed to what real racism is, this wasn't from a victim, this wasn't from a right, this wasn't from a wrong. All my life I had been hearing about being a black man. And now I'm 18 years old standing in the factory. I ain't no student. I ain't no child. I ain't no boy. I'm standing amongst white men as a black man. And I saw the way they looked at me. I say, damn. Talking to my daddy about this, some of them came up and said, you Charles' son. I said, yeah. They looked at me like, I'll kick your motherfucking ass. I remember telling my dad, I said, Dad, man, why they looking at me like I'm crazy. He said, because I ain't play no motherfucking game with them crackers. I had to immediately understand my position. So they ain't gonna play no games with me neither, Daddy. And I realize as a race, oh, it's a race. Them against me, but we working together as one. We learning each other as men. I'm understanding my position. I know my opposition. I know everything that's with me, for me, or against me. And it become to get all good the more and more I understood. I'm in a race. And I'm going to make the finish line. And when I get there, I ain't going to expect nobody to understand or love me but my kind. I'm in a race. So where did we go wrong to forget this? Because I can look back at Hulk Hogan, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, and I ain't got no expectations of any of these white men not being white men when they white man. But I know they gave us entertainment on TV. They worked hard to give us entertainment. They create memories on Saturday morning, Wednesday nights with my daddy, my granddaddy, with my cousins when we made wrestling belts and we wrestled. Oh, they gave us so much memory that I got a good sentiment. How can my heart be so cruel? We think with emotions and not logic. I saw another post on social media. I just want y'all to understand what this shit do to us. Alexa, what is the meaning of sentiment?
Sentiment is usually defined as an attitude towards something, regard, opinion. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for sentiment.
An attitude towards something, regard, and opinion. Ari Lennox says she don't like the Martin show because Martin had a derogatory attitude towards Pam because she was dark-skinned, and this is so toxic to the mind. And everybody's sharing this about what Ari Lennox said about Martin and how she don't appreciate it. Man, let me tell y'all something. Martin came out in 1992. She was born in 1992. What the? See what I'm saying, y'all? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? And that would take off. And our attitude towards a time when I was in junior high, under the street light, living in Hidden Valley, after we had got through playing football, knowing that it was time to go in the house. And this was the time when you had to be able to have wit. Everybody was trying to get a laugh and make a laugh. And it was one night when Martin came on that everybody broke the huddle to go catch Martin. And we knew Gina from House Party. Gina always played the light-skinned, dark-skinned. We understood it, but all her dark-skinned counterparts were bad. That's memories. That's a sentiment. I can remember that feeling. How dare we let someone who wasn't even born or old enough to even fathom create a sentiment about something that's real? How dare we let these social media type trends make us have goddamn a wrong sentiment towards people like Hulk Hogan when these type of things represented so much more in sentiment and memories to us? Man, look at how far we're getting away from our reality, all because we want to play a goddamn victim about something. Fucking racism. It'll go away when you stop expecting it to change. Nobody gonna love you. And if they do, it's real and you will know it's real. But it ain't no sign you can put up. Working in that paper mill. Redneck. Out of Belmont. Mark Martin racing. Budweiser drinking. Dip in his lip, spitting. Had to invite me to his house one time because he was in a situation. And I said, let me help you out, man. I got you. But out of everything he had been taught, out of everything he had done stood on, well, the light is a real thing when you shine it in darkness. I'm talking real life shit. I ain't talking make believe. I sold him a car. And I had to go down there in that trailer park. And every last one of them came out. I'm talking about every last one of them that lived in there came out. Because they saw a proud black man pull up in there in a pretty ass car like the fucking mayor and get out, and they leader came to me. In respect, love, honor, brotherhood. That was the racism crown to me. And I say it was the racism crown because I don't expect nothing but respect. I don't approach no man with a hug. I approach a man with a handshake. Only time you get in your feelings about what a white man say is when you expecting something. Who raised you to do that? Who raised you like that? It's real shit. It's 2025. It's time to get real. Like I said, we come a long way. I don't know if we done went the wrong way. My dad is 70. I was raised by a generation like him. The white men my age was raised by a daddy from the same generation. It might be gone with my children and his children. But a kind gonna always be a kind. I ask my children every day of their life, what kind of man are you? What kind of woman are you? Because when you can define your kind, and sometimes my kind transcends race, color, creed. Sometimes my kind go into the mind. But no matter where I'm at or who I'm around, I'm in a race. And I got people counting on me. So don't ever get that twisted. When you're in a race, don't you ever get in your emotions. When you hear a glimpse of how somebody else in that same race or in that race against you, in their race, and y'all going for the same thing, working to survive and to maintain. Don't you ever get in your feelings when you hear somebody in the race of another race, how they feel, because you in a race and you trying to get there too. What you expect? Like I say, if you ain't heard it now, tell me who we can't have a good sentiment for. If it ain't Hulk Hogan and anybody else, who we gonna say racist? Give me the ones who ain't. That's the list I want to see. Give me the ones who ain't. And if you think being a Democrat make them ain't, if you think being a Christian make them ain't, if you think whatever the fuck you want to think that make them ain't, put their name on the list so we can get this hatred out of our heart and at least know who we can have a good sentiment for. Because I don't hate nobody, man. That I can't get connected to reality in a moment of death and legacy to be hateful about that. Damn, y'all. Damn. And I know you ain't that real standing on Black Power at work. I know you ain't that real. I know that's just social media. Damn, y'all. I say it in their face in ways people can't even fathom talking. They say, man, how can you talk like that? And they be understanding it and liking it and respecting it. But I go raw with that shit. But I'm like, damn, I ain't got no hate in my heart. We want to be the victim so much that we want to turn into them. We can't have that much hate in our heart, y'all. We can't have an attitude and an opinion. We ain't gonna never win like that. Look, I got cultivated with the spirit of an athlete. Man, every time I lined up, I had to look in the eyes of another man, another boy, another child that looked me in my eyes and said, I am going to beat you. And I had to look him back in his eyes and say, no, you're not. I am the one. And both of us had a sentiment against each other. And I was dominant in mine. But I didn't have hate. I just understood that's how it worked. If you expect a fish to climb a tree, I'm a black man. If I was white man, I would want my grandchildren to be white. Goddamn, I can't be mad at him because he want his baby girl to marry a white boy so he can have white children and see who he is and his grandkids. I can't be mad at the white man for wanting that in his heart and his soul. Now, if she get what a black man should do, he got to deal with it. Real life story. See, I talked to my daddy about a lot of racist type shit because he really lived it. He kind of cultivated me to let me know, son, we come a long way, son. I know you got to deal with it on your level, son, but yeah, son. So that was a man who owned a transmission shop. It's out there on Independence. I would say it, but goddamn it, I'm gonna say it like I say it. Cool with my daddy, man named Frank. Frank was in the KKK. This ain't no shame. This ain't no shame. He in the KKK. My daddy know he in the KKK. Frank and my daddy do business together. Frank ain't coming to my house. Frank invited my daddy to his house, but Frank in the KKK and my daddy don't give a fuck called, hey, Frank do good business. And Frank got respect in the face of. Frank can go be wherever he want to be. Frank's daughter got the liking off on them black men. She got pregnant not one, not two, but 3 times by a black man. This is a true story. Frank was shamed, but he loved his grandkids. Told my daddy, he said, Charles, they got the prettiest skin I ever saw in my life. Loved his grandkids. But Frank's daughter knew that she disappointed her daddy, and they had issues, and that was kind of her way of getting back at her daddy. But she loved the black man that she be with. But Frank said, Charles, I go to my meetings, and I got high rank, and it hurt me to my soul, Charles. I love my grandbabies, but I know I can't take them in that space, Charles. And that hurt me. But I love my grandbabies, Charles. So I love them. See how that work? You see how that work? You see how that work? Life happens, shit happens, you roll with it. But Frank ain't wrong for wanting what he want, because he had the heart to love through conditions for his daughter. So I tell my children, like Hulk Hogan said, I stand on that. I ain't ashamed of that. And I don't expect no other race to be ashamed of that for their own legacy. Stop being emotional, having sentiments that's making your heart hateful. And you ain't even being real about the situation. You just going with a herd mentality that we hear on social media. And this applies to every damn thing. I pity the fool that says, we ain't the same cause we, man, come on. Whether it be Democrat, Republican, whether it be a Dallas Cowboy fan or Washington Redskin fan, whether it be a Laker fan or versus a Knick fan, whether it be a Q-Dog versus a Kappa, Christian versus a Muslim, whatever the versus is, when you can put on a jersey, a costume, like Jay-Z said, stealer. Social media. Now we got people want to be indigenous. We ain't African. We this, we that. What was your grandma mama? What was your grandma mama? What was your grandma mama? What was your granddaddy? Fuck you talking about? If you can't answer that, then you just want to be any goddamn thing. You want to be any goddamn thing. And I know it's the truth, because just 5 years ago, you was another goddamn thing. See, we put all these different sentiments, attitudes, ideas, and opinions. Washington Redskins, the red man. My daddy tell me about a story when he worked for a tree company. That's one of the most powerful stories of his life, because he saved a man's life while he was working for the tree company. And he said back during that time in the early 70s, them goddamn Indians was motherfucking running the tree game. He said, boy, them goddamn Indians knew how to run the motherfucking game, boy. Them Indians used to climb them goddamn trees. He got so excited. And when he talked about how good the goddamn Indians was. My daddy knew what an Indian was, and he knew what he was, and here he is with people, goddamn 40 years later, talking about they the goddamn Indians. When the black man knows what an Indian is, and he know what he is. So in real life, an Indian may have got him one like the white man. And now we got a little Indian in us somewhere, like we got a little white man in us somewhere. But when we had a little Indian in us, we know that somebody had a little bit of curly, straight kind of hair. They said they had a little Indian in them. But we got niggas with nigger hair talking about their goddamn Indian. What kind of shit we on? What kind of sentiment? Oh my God! Can't hide under the hat no more. I gotta let this shit out today. Terry, you already know what time it is, man. I love you, Terry. Love you, Tiggity. Sentiment. Alexa, what is the meaning of sentiment?
Sentiment is usually defined as an attitude towards something, regard, opinion. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for sentiment.
An attitude towards something, regard, and opinion. I got a sentiment towards you, Terry. Man, when I see your name in that phone and I push Terry, boy, it's a show guaranteed, genuine conversation. That's going to feel good. I know I'm going to laugh. Man, I know what I'm finna get because I know Terry. It's a powerful sentiment. Sometimes my wife asks me out the blue, when the last time you talked to Terry? That's her way of saying, call Terry and let's laugh. It's a powerful sentiment, man. And I want you to know that, man. I want you to know that, and I hope I'm enough, Terry. But that's real life shit. I ain't talking no make-believe. Sentiment. That was this dude, right? He had this leather jacket with the zip on. His wife say, you don't even wear that jacket no more. It done got old. Why you keep that jacket? He say, no, don't worry about it. It's all right. It's all right. So she would always give him hell about that jacket every time she go to clean it up and going through the closet. So years went by, and his son noticed the jacket. He said, Daddy, that jacket been in there all my life. Even I can remember when I was a little boy. What's up with that jacket? He never felt the moment to explain what that jacket was to that moment. He said, listen, son, when I got my first job, my first check, first thing I bought with my check was that jacket. So that jacket symbolizes, man, the beginning of me working. He said, it make me mad when your mama don't know this, but first date I went on with your mama, I had that jacket on. Saying by this time I knew something was powerful about that jacket. So when I bought my house, I had that jacket on. Say when you was born, I wore that jacket to the hospital. So I say, see, that jacket is more than leather and a zipper or a style. You got an attitude, opinion, a moment. Got a sentiment on it. I'm gonna get out of here. I love y'all. I have grown to a better me. I'm growing, baby. Yeah, I ain't gone. I want to tell this story. I almost forgot it. It's powerful. We went on vacation last week, and we was going there. Couldn't wait to get in the pool. Wanted to run a play with my son. My son got a phobia that he can't go underwater. And in my mind, we going through a phase of development of understanding. And I just want my son to be the best he can be. And I'm just trying to be the best daddy I can be. I always tell him, son, it's your first time being 16, and it's my first time being a 16-year-old daddy. We gonna get it right, and we gonna keep it right. But we got to do it together. So we in the pool, and I'm trying to encourage him to get over his fears and put his head underwater, but he ain't having it. And when he ain't having it, I kind of get frustrated, and I got to catch myself to say, Trav, don't you get tired all in it and destroy his moment. Just let him have fun. Y'all on vacation, man. Stop tripping. The boy ain't trying to go through no type of shit like that. So I let it be. So the next day we went to the ocean. But in my mind, I say, man, he gonna get over this fear. And I'm saying get over because I want him to enjoy himself and experience. I want him to know, man, you all right. And indulge in the moment. It's okay. So we out there in the ocean. And I tell him, I say, man, you know what it feels like to get baptized? You know what it means to be baptized? He said, when you go underwater, he telling me his version. I say, yeah. The preacher put your head underwater and bring you up and you're born again. You're a new you. I say, don't worry about it. You finna get baptized. I say, God gonna baptize you in the ocean. So we going out, the waves getting stronger. And I'm anticipating this one wave that's gonna come and just wipe his ass out. And he gonna go underwater and I'm gonna pull him up. And then I'm gonna say, see, now you over your fears. I told you, you gonna be all right. And the storm came and it kind of got him and he got down and it went on top of his head. And I said, you've been baptized. We having a good time. So we going out and, now I'm in this thing where I'm in kind of some type of denial that I can't accept this motherfucker way taller than me now. He's 6'2" and some shit. Man, this shit fucking with me a little bit. I'm just telling the truth. So we going out there and it's up here, but I can swim. It's up here to me, but it's right here to him, what I mean? So we out there and I'm boom, 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 and I hit a low spot. And now the water over my head. So I come up and I'm doggy paddling. And I'm like, go up under and I try to swim, but now that I got caught in the current, I come back down. I still ain't standing on solid ground. I go back in, do it again. I say, Lord, I can't goddamn panic. So I say, hey, King, come here. I can't stand up. Walk to me and be careful, but just walk to me till you can reach my hand and pull me in. So he walked to me and reached his long ass arm there and pulled me till I could stand up. And I say, all right, I'm good. I say, God damn, boy, you done had to save me. And man, he had the most proudest look on his face when he realized I'm out here fucking with him in the water and he done had to save me. So at this time, he break to the beach. I say, look at that motherfucker. He can't tell him shit. So he moving fast. He trying to get to his mama before I get out. He get there before me. I see her start talking shit. I say, God damn. So I get up there. She said, you out there bullshitting. Goddamn, he done had to say your ass, you know what I mean? But the point is, I'm out there fucking with him, getting him over his fears. And a moment happened where he really saved me. And I can downplay it or I can be real about it. I ain't saying I could swim. I ain't saying I wouldn't have made it. I ain't saying I would have kept on swimming. But whatever. But my boy grabbed me and pulled me in. And it was one of the most humbling moments I ever had in my life. One time I was watching an episode of Mike Tyson and he say, man, don't you ever wake up and be humble. Because life will have moments where it humble you. And I went out and got on that beach and laid down. And I laid down in glory, just realizing what that moment was. And to this day, right now, I'm sunburnt like a motherfucker. Because I had to lay down in that moment, man. And be thankful how it worked. And be thankful how it worked. And from that day, was so powerful. We left out the ocean. He went and got in the pool and he put his head underwater and he came back up and he was letting me know I ain't scared to go underwater. Yeah, hey, yeah, look, Daddy, I done saved your ass. I'm the water king today. So I had to tell that story, man. That's some real life shit. And I'm thankful to have got whatever lesson that is. And I think I'm going to chew on that story maybe for the rest of my life. But that vacation will have a sentiment. It represents something, even if I don't understand it now. And I was telling this to my homeboy. And it's some real life shit. I ain't talking make believe. He say, man, that's how Theo died. The dude from the car. He said they was out there in the ocean and say the current took his daughter and he was swimming and goddamn he gave up. As long as they saved his daughter, he gave up out that motherfucker. Got caught in the current. Say died just like that. So I'm talking some real life shit. I ain't talking make believe. And just to be able to stand here and tell this story as a lesson and a sentiment that I will have to chew on for the rest of my life. And knowing that moment is something my son got. A memory bank deposit. She told me, that's why you need to leave my baby alone. See how they work right there. She said, leave her baby alone. That's our baby. Somebody telling me about Genesis. We created man in our image. I ain't talking no deep shit. That's me and my wife, baby. He look and act just like us. She say, leave my baby alone. She see it as fucking with him. I see it as raising him. And she supposed to protect him. That's what a mama do. But she trusts me. And she get on my ass when she get her shots too. See how it work? That's how it work. Yeah. I'm gonna give a shout out, man, to every brother, man, that call me brother. And that know I'm their brother. And that know I keep my word and my truth and my bond. And I stand in your name, just as I know you'll stand in mine. If I'm your brother, you mine. I have grown to a better me. I'm growing, baby, better than who I used to be. I used to worry about what people say about me, trying to figure out why these people are hating on me. Then I realized that I'm my own worst enemy. So I stopped fighting myself and let the enemy shine in me. Stand in that mirror. Say it to yourself. I have grown into a better me. I'm better than who I used to be. Sometimes, man, we put a negative connotation about the word better. You think you better than somebody. Well, let the somebody be the old you and say you are. And if you love your children as a woman, as a man, sincerely, then I just want to tell you this right here. And you ain't got to be ashamed and you ain't got to be humble. You are better than somebody who don't. There ain't no excuse and ain't no reason not to. Stop being ashamed. To be proud. What comes with sacrifice, dedication, commitment. Stop letting mediocrity, stop letting bullshit motherfuckers make you feel like, how dare you stand tall and be proud of your commitment, your discipline, your dedication, your truth. Don't you let nobody make you feel like you got to be ashamed of that and you can't let your light shine. You feel better than somebody who don't. You look better than somebody who don't. You sound better than somebody who don't. Better is not an illusion. Better is not subjective. Hold me down to the